Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Baka.
So guys, last show of the year.
Woohoo.
Yep.
Are you having some issues, Chicken? You look like you're having some issues.
No, I'm just adjusting the volume of my headset to near
Oh.
mute. If I could, I would mute, but I have to be able to hear you guys at least a little bit.
I hate you.
Only a
So
little
much
bit.
love on the last show of the year where we get 2 weeks off and then we'll be right back. So don't worry, it's not like it's gonna be that long. So, how's everybody doing? What games have we been playing? Stuff we've been doing.
Oh, things.
Well,
and
I've been
stuff.
having internet issues, so there's that.
That's like the
Um,
most fun.
Yeah, I did end up because my problem was my upload speed, so I wasn't able to stream all week. But I did end up playing Gunk, which is a new game that's out. It's on Game Pass. It's a third-person game that is set. Basically, it's post-apocalyptic Earth has already happened, and I guess humans have moved out and are trying to find sources of energy to sell. And so these two women land on a planet, and I'm not really sure if they're a couple or not. They act like a couple, but it's never really said, so it's kind of weird. Because I'm like, are they or are they not? Why are you reacting this way on certain things and you're not reacting the other way? Like, I don't get it. But so the concept is the fact that this really goopy looking stuff that is everywhere is kind of taking over the planet, and your job is to eliminate that from the planet. And of course the main character calls it Gunk, which is why the name of it's that. And you have this little you have a hand, because the main character at some point has lost half an arm, and so you have like a robotic hand that you put on, and that is what sucks up the gunk. And once you clean out certain areas, then those areas start to bloom with life again from the like both plants and animals and stuff like that come back to life in the area. And then it starts to unravel the mystery of what happened to this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I am at the very end of the game. Like I'm the big boss at the end. I'm almost there. It's about 6 to 8 hours of gameplay total, so it's a good casual game to pick up. It's a fun game. Like the gameplay itself is fun to play. It's a beautiful game. I think they did a really good job of it. I did not research at all who did this game. I did not research at all anything about the company at all, but I can tell you they did a really good job. I know it's got to be a very small company just based on the way that it's done. But it is it's one of those games where I can see them creating a sequel of some sort. And I do recommend it if you're just looking for something to pick up. There's a lot of platforming in it, so I don't think Grif would like it.
Which is unfortunate because the main character is voiced by Fiona Nova, and I love her to death.
Yep.
But I know
Yep.
that's not my, like, when she announced that she was starring in it, I was like, damn, I wish it was a game that I could actually
Well,
play.
and that's the only reason I heard of it, is because I've been watching G4 since they've gone live now, and Fiona's on Attack of the Show, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'll, she'd mentioned the fact that she was voicing Ronnie, and I was like, okay, cool. I love her character.
I love her. She's awesome.
Yeah, I do too. But the other female character, she's made a shift as a character, but for a while I hated her. I'm like, why are you acting this way? Why are you being this way? Whatever. The puzzles in it are really good. I would say it is free on Game Pass, and maybe give it a try and see if you like the gameplay at all. And then if you don't, then just sketch it, because you do like Fiona. But I do really, really like where the game's going. I like the puzzles. They did a really good job of making it difficult. What I was afraid of is, as I got closer to the end, it felt like they were speeding up the end. And they did a really good job of making you feel that way, and then going, oh, by the way, here's some breaks. And so they did a really good job of that. I like the story overall, and the gameplay and everything. So it's a fantastic game. I wasn't expecting to think as much of it as I have. I just picked it up because I was like, oh. something I can play on cloud. Don't have to worry about downloading it and just kind of enjoying it. And it's brand new. Fiona's in it, so why not try it? And ended up really liking it so far. So, and like I said, I'm almost
Steam
done.
Pass or Game Pass?
Game Pass?
PC
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
PC Pass. Sorry,
Oh, whatever it's called these days.
they're
It is on
labeled
PC
differently
Pass.
now. Okay, thank you. Gotta make
I'm
sure I
asking. I don't know. I'm assuming it is because it's on cloud. So,
the Gunk on PC Game Pass.
it is definitely on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I think most of the stuff they're trying to do now, unless it's a PC exclusive game, it'll be on both.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, it's on
Uh,
PC Game Pass, so free. Play it. Because I saw it on Twitter too, and I was like, "Oh, that looks fun," but I don't want to buy a game. But I don't have to buy the game. I've already paid for it, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna download
it's
and play
fun.
it.
And like I said, 6 to 8 hours. So if you wanted to play a newer game and you wanted something kind of quick, because I know you're waiting for, I don't know how far you are into Star Ocean, but
We're almost done with Disc 1.
Disc 1.
almost done with Disc 1.
That game is
So and then I know you're
forever
gonna
long.
you're looking at the new Pokemon as well. So I was just, it might be one of those things you want to use as a filler at some point if you're looking for something quick between two games. Because I think you would be able to finish it pretty quickly. I've been kind of exploring and just kind of enjoying the world a little bit and pushing through it because I haven't anybody to entertain but myself, and my kids haven't watched me play it. They've gone to do their own thing. Dr. Boof has been doing whatever she's doing, and I just get to enjoy it myself. So it's great. Sitting in my living room on my couch and enjoying it that way. But that's it. That's the only thing I've really played. But I've enjoyed the hell out of it. So.
Well, I am fighting with 2 Point Hospital on the same friggin' level I've been on all week long, and I think
The
I
hot
might
dogs.
have the hot dog level, and I think I have it figured out. But I haven't gotten to the wave with the hot dogs yet in the attempt that I've been running this weekend. Because I think you're supposed to basically with this hospital, you have to cure waves of people. And some of the waves have objectives, and some of them are just like process this many patients. I think you're supposed to.
I get it. Processed hot dogs.
Well, there's no hot dogs yet. They're not till wave 6. I think you're supposed to intentionally fail some so that you can make extra money, because it hurts your reputation to fail, but you make the money that you made from all the cures, and then you can run that same wave again. So I think you're supposed to accrue money that way. I just have to, like, I'm working on it. I'm working on accruing a bunch of extra money before wave 6, and then putting out enough publicity so that my reputation doesn't completely tank from me failing, because if your reputation is bad, people won't pay for stuff. And those little hot dog bitches are not paying for stuff. I'll see them at vending machines all the time. They'll get their snacks and eat them and be like, refuse to pay. So I kick those people out of the hospital. As soon as I see refuse to pay, I'm like, you go home. I don't care that you're still sick. Get out.
How do they get stuff out of the vending machines if
Right?
they don't pay?
That's what I'm saying.
Hello?
But
Hello?
apparently,
The old school trick where they have that coin on a string.
I guess so. And I raised all
But
my
then
prices
why would they
by 30%.
refuse to pay? Because technically they would have already paid.
Well, they don't. They get stuff out of the vending machine, they eat it or drink it, and then the money pops out of them. But granted, in 2 Point Hospital world, vending machines are incredibly expensive. Like, I upped everything by 30% anyway, but these people are paying like $125 at a vending machine, so...
If I could cough or do some sort of dramatic "oh my god" noise, I would, because oh my god, $125 for a bag of chips.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
sounds about right with American healthcare.
Well, I mean...
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm gonna get this level, though. I'm going to. I have to. I cannot, like, Foxy's coming over for New Year's like she always does, and I talked to her about it because she plays this game too. She's like, maybe we can do it together. And I'm thinking, nah, I'm gonna have this problem solved well before then. Because I just can't not. It's eating all of my free brain space right now, so... Which isn't much, admittedly, but... it's what I'm doing. But I hate it. But I love it. But I hate it. So that's what I've been doing for the most part, aside from my obligations to things like WoW.
Baka?
Well, we did run not BRD, Black Fathom Death
BFD.
last night. Yeah. I don't know why my brain started going into BRD mode.
Because we talked about it. All of the similarly acronymed dungeons across WoW.
BFD,
Yeah.
BRD, LBRS, UBRS.
DM, is that Dire Mole or Dead Mines?
RFD, DM, yeah. And so on and so on and so on.
It was Dead Mines until Dire Maul came out, and then Dead Mines got switched to VC to help clarify with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could have just done like DM W, DME, DMN.
It
Which, to
doesn't
be fair,
matter.
most people do that anyway.
No, but a little bit of Animal Crossing here and there. So I tried to play a little bit of Red Dead, but I kept getting into lobbies with stupid hackers right now, so
I
couldn't
guess,
get much
like,
done.
That seems to happen a lot around the holidays with, like, a lot of online games. It's like kids are out of school, so all the idiots are free, and they're just at home doing nothing with their free time.
Spending
Yeah.
mommy and daddy's credit card to buy cheat devices
I guess so.
for the PC so they can be dicks and just go, look, I keep exploding your body in the air. Let's see how long I can keep it up there. Okay, I'll just leave the game. Have fun exploding nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Played around with a little bit of started going through Castlevania Lament of Innocence on the PS2, since that's the starter point of the whole series.
The Netflix series? Or the series, like, in general?
The video game series
Okay.
in general.
You
Because
said
like
series.
when you watch the show, there's Easter eggs in the background when he goes to the Belmont home.
Mhm.
Like on the background there's a painting of Leon, which is where the whole Castlevania series originates from.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's neat.
Tons of Easter eggs in that show.
oh yeah.
Also, I'm sorry if the background sounds like there's something catastrophic happening. Our child is upstairs being babysat and running around like crazy. So I know it's picking up on the auto track. Sorry.
Don't mind him. He's only 1 year and some months, and he runs around like he's a track star.
Yeah.
We need to get him some of those giant building blocks and do buildings, and then get him a little Godzilla costume and let him just go to town.
He would probably
He's-
approve. He likes destruction.
He's 50. He's 16 months old. He does not have a very long attention span.
Yeah, it
On
would last for,
average,
like,
it's about
10
3 minutes for his age. That'd be lucky if you could get him
It
for 3
would be
minutes.
3 minutes worth recording.
Anything else, Baka?
I'm trying to think if there's really anything else this week that we played. I've been kind of tired this week, but
You know what I'll say.
yeah. Well, we did do D&D, and at the end, I just like my brain was just like, nope, it's shut down mode.
Mm,
Yeah, that fool was
yeah. Yeah. I was like, you have an
Barely
important
there.
item. Wake up. It's
Yeah,
literally
barely
something I
there.
mentioned by name, and no. I mentioned nothing. Like, random loot off of a loot table, or just, like, a no attachments, no strings attached something, and they will fixate on it. I gave him an item with a specific name, and nothing. Nothing.
I wrote it down, but yeah, my brain was just like, no, I can't put nothing together right now. It hit a point that night where it was just like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I know. We probably should have stopped playing like 45 minutes before we did, but it is what it is.
Oh well.
Well, what about you, Chicken? What'd you do?
Played WoW, of course. I think we played Phasmo some night. D&D, of course. I finished Halo Infinite.
You guys can talk about it, but no spoilers.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's about where I'll end it. I'm sad that there's no co-op.
Yeah, me too, man.
And I
Yet.
saw, I saw someone's suggestion because I was reading, and it's like this guy's group of friends is quitting because like you can't play co-op with your friends, and that is like a huge draw for a lot of people, is just being able to blow through the campaign with your friends.
Go collect skulls.
And not being able to do that, and then the
stuff.
multiplayer grind is just... I guess it's hard for a lot of people these days.
Well, a lot
and
of the
it's
stuff
not,
in multiplayer was... A lot of the big draw for it in recent years has been Forge maps and custom games. And you can't do Forge maps right now.
It's pretty lackluster. But one of the suggestions in the comments like blew me a fucking way. Like, this is what I wish was in the campaign. 1, co-op. Dear God, I cannot wait for co-op in this game. 2, forgeable fobs. When you unlock a fob, it gives you the square around the fob that you can activate Forge mode in and change it however you desire. Like, you got the platform, and then you can build it up however you want. And then add Firefight to it. So you can defend your designed fob from invasions of the Banished.
That's a really good idea.
Like, you talk about replayability, like being able to design your own fobs with your friends and then activating a Firefight mode on it.
And I love Firefight. That'd be fun.
Oh my God, please give me that. Yeah.
Just without spoiling anything for anybody, just so you know what a fob is a UNSC base that has been taken over by the Banished, and you have to get it back. That's all it is.
It's like towers in Far Cry and things like that, where you take that checkpoint, it maps out the area around you.
That'd be more like
it's not really a spoiler. Yeah, the camps in Far Cry. Not really a spoiler. There's just that's part of the open world, which is fine. But that's what they are, and having them be able to be customizable would be super nice, and then adding Firefight on top of that, like that right there is what you want
out
for
of the campaign and like have a Firefight mode where you could just go into the Firefight mode and pick which base you want to play on, customize it, and then go. You know?
Yes. Like, and because they're in different areas and different environments and whatnot, it adds a lot of replayability and different kind of content to each of the areas. Like that's what you need in that kind of campaign mode when you're going to have an open world like that. It's a good suggestion. I hope that they take that once they get their Forge mode out, because from what I've read for their Forge mode, it's going to be far more complicated than any of us could imagine, because it's like writing like all the way down to the base of scripts. Like you get to customize almost every aspect of it. So
I feel like that's the way it was, like, which I'm sure there's going to be things that you can actually build in the action, like buildings and shit like that. You'll be able to build in the Forge based on the way it's being described. But I feel like Forge was so complicated when we first got it. Think about when it was first released. And we're like, wait, we can put spawn points anywhere we want to on the map. We can do this. We can control that. We can, you know what I mean? Like the first time it's on there. So now all of us, I'm so far removed from dealing with Forge, because it's been like, I don't even think I touched it in Halo 4. Like I don't even know the last time I touched Forge. And then getting to where this is going to be like a big learning curve, but it should be fun, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So I finished the game. I enjoyed it. I'll leave it at that. Play it. It's on Game Pass. Make your own decision. All that.
And if you do want to talk spoilers, there's a spoiler channel on the Chicken Discord where you can go and discuss everything that happened.
Enter at your own risk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is a spoiler
If you don't want any spoilers for anything, because you got to be careful, it's already written in there.
That's true.
So that is a dangerous channel that when you click it, that's on you at that point. It's got a risk to it. But other than that, I picked back up Star Ocean, and we're almost done with the first disc. I think we've got one or two more little sections, and then we're gonna move to the second disc, which is very close to where I last played it. I remember the exact save, so I'll definitely point it out. Be like, all right, I've never been past this point. This is it. We're finally on our trek to the end of the game. It took me 20 years to beat this game. You talk about a long game. This is it. This is it.
Well, and it was, I want to say it was only the third stream in when you were playing it that you were like, this is the furthest I've made it since the disc issue.
Yes.
Like you had not, I mean, and that was hours, like tens of hours in. It was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I think I've got 25 hours in it right now, or 30 hours, somewhere around there. I'm definitely moving through it a lot faster than I did before. I'm a lot smarter. I'm also a lot smarter and yet a lot dumber. There are moments where I'm just like, how the hell did I solve this when I was a kid? And I'm just like, where the fuck do I go? How did I solve this? Like there's
you got
one part
dad
where
brain now. Dad, your kid steals some of your memories and stuff and uses some of your brain cells.
Has to be, man. It's ridiculous.
I am curious on this, and Grif, you've been watching a lot of the footage, so feel free to chime in as well. One of the complaints we have now with a lot of RPG style games is the fact that people feel the worlds have gotten too large and are taking too long to play. How do you feel this compares? Is there something different about this that it allows you to be able to go in and go, I'm fine with putting 40, 50 hours into this game versus something that's modern? Is there something that's changed in the world of gaming that's different and how it feels?
I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
You're the one that's been watching a lot
days in RPGs, just like Red Dead and things like that, wandering around the map. It's not too long for me. I'm fine with it.
I think one of the main differences is the enemies are a lot of enemies do get copy pasted, but it's not as many. Like for as many as there are that are copy pasted, there are just as many that are different, like and unique for different areas. Like they definitely reuse some enemies, but there are definitely just as many different ones as there are copied. If that makes any sense. Like it's not all copy and paste. I have played several games where they just copy paste. The next zone is just the same enemies last time, just recolored. This time,
is there anything you've discovered in this run that you don't remember, at least from your previous runs?
Oh my god!
At that point,
I know when I first played it, I did a whole lot more of the invention stuff, and I had no idea. Also, being told how the battle gauge works properly. I had no fucking clue how it worked before. I thought it was all random, but it is not actually. Whatever ability you are using when you fill that battle gauge up is what bonus you get. So a light attack, strong attack, different things like that, long range attack, short range attack, long range heavy, short range heavy, and that bases on what you get for your battle gauge.
But that would just be you being more mature as a gamer, I would assume.
I was told.
Yeah, a Twitch viewer was the one that was like, actually.
Yeah, so a lot of people apparently like watching this game, so I have no idea, but I guess they enjoy this game. I guess it's niche, so not a lot of people play it, and when they find somebody that's actually playing it, they're like, oh, cool. I'm going to hang out here for a little while.
That's good.
I have definitely learned that old school niche games get a lot more viewership than like the more saturated market for newer stuff. It is a lot different. But yeah, I don't think there's anything that I've been able to notice. I understand the story a lot more than I did the first time, that's for sure. Like being able to see the more like adult themes, war and casualties and the incredibleness of like one part where they're just at war and then a fucking spaceship comes down and starts blasting everybody and they're like, oh my god. It'd be like World War II and a spaceship comes down in the middle of Europe and just starts blowing everybody up and everybody's like, well, we should probably take a step back from our war and kind of redirect to the giant thing in the sky since, we have a new enemy. So you kind of get a little different perspective on the story part of it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more this time than I did the first time.
That's good.
I think one of the main things is your question earlier about the difference between old school long-term games and things like this is the amount of fluff put in it, where this one seems like it's skinnier but long, and like games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's a lot of fluff stuffed into them to make them seem bigger. A lot of stuff that you just kind of feel like you're forced to do, or a lot of side objectives and things like that. And companies don't know how to add like important content without it seeming like fluff. So, I mean, one of the things I'll point out in Halo Infinite, like the only thing that seems like real fluff is the propaganda towers. It's the only thing that feels like fluff that they just kind of were like, we need something else in there. Just stick these every so often. It's like, but those just seem out of place. Like
I did see one of those on that one was the It's one of the grunts actually singing the Halo theme, whatever. And he gets
They
down
are
to the end of it. And he goes,
hilarious.
"I hate this song."
They are hilarious. I will absolutely give you that. But
I think they're there for comedy relief more than anything. Of course, grunts
I could-
always have been comedy relief for me.
Absolutely. Like, I could definitely see that. It's just, out of everything in that game, that's like the one piece of like stuffing in random places.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, that's all I've played this week.
All right.
Okay.
We move on.
Yeah.
Are we moving on to news? Or are we moving on to our top 5? What are we doing?
Let's do
Yeah, Griff, what do you
news,
want?
and then we can end with some fun stuff instead of back and forth about stupid news. That's right. I said stupid
A lot
news.
of yeah, it's in all NFT stuff, so why not? Pretty much. So we were already complaining last week about NFT stuff being added into video games. I think we kind of said something about Peter Molyneux doing an NFT game as well, announcing that. Just kind of brushed over it a little bit, but so far he has already taken in over $53 million to this game for NFTs. And based on the way that it's worded, the way our understanding of it is that you are essentially purchasing land in imaginary land inside of his game that you then can rent out portions of your said land to other people to build things on. I don't know what the game actually is other than we built land.
I mean,
Which there's already sandbox games like out there that you can purchase areas of.
It sounds like he's setting up an NFT cryptocurrency digital mall where you can rent space from him, so he will be the landlord who will make money off of you, and then you can set up your shop and sell things, or you can sublet your spot to somebody else.
Technically, you're not renting from him. Technically, you're not renting from him. You are buying from
you're
him.
purchasing.
You have full rights to that piece of his game. Like he loses rights to that, and then you, as the owner of that piece of land, makes money off of
his
that.
company running the servers for it and everything, if he gets kickback off of your NFT sales.
100%.
Oh,
I
yeah,
I think it's going to be. I think
it'll
there's
be a
gonna
percentage for sure.
And I guarantee you, in the terms of service, there's an eminent domain that's set up into it.
I'm sure there
Because
is.
it's-
Yeah,
Yeah. 100%.
absolutely.
Well, and to be fair, from a legal standpoint, you have to have that in there. Because let's say that, somebody from 8chan decides to purchase, like a group of idiots decide to get this entire thing together, right? And they're like, whatever it is that they put on the actual land itself is, completely not okay in society. He's got to have some way of turning around and going, no, that's against the terms of use of the purchase or whatever. It happened to be the original purchase to where he can take that land back.
Yeah, like there's definitely going to be a law in there where it's like, well, that's going to break terms of service. I'm going to take that back. You're not getting your money back, but I'm going to take that land and get rid of your terms of ownership. So
Yeah, I mean, well, that's one of the
which,
things
to
that
be
I
fair,
think
is fair.
is weird about the NFT space like this, because there has to be something in there in your agreement where, yeah, you get digital ownership, but there's still rules, and that ownership may be revoked. I mean, it's the same thing that we were talking about last week with the Ubisoft stuff, where it's like one day the server's going to get shut down. So what's your actual ownership of that item? Because what can you do with it once the server doesn't exist? I guess it'd be similar in this. Like, you own that land, but if he ever stops running the server that it's held on, like, basically he's running a Minecraft server where you buy real land in it, or strips of land. What happens when he turns the server off?
Well, and that's the thing. What is the money being used for? Is it to run the servers? Is that the idea behind it, to improve the product, or just run the servers?
I mean, is there an
those are two different
agreement in the
things, too.
terms of service that says we will run this server indefinitely and charge you X amount per, NFT transaction so that we can continue to run it? Do you have legal recourse if they take it down at that point? Like, this is really, like, the whole NFT crypto area is very speculatory, And I think that if you want to invest in it, you have to go into it understanding that you may lose that money. Because there's not a lot of groundwork laid for legality behind things and actual ownership and whatnot. Because it's like, yeah, you own the NFT, but it's digital. So if Ubisoft shuts down their servers, can you sue them because you paid $600 for a skin and now you can't use it? Or is that written in somewhere? Like,
Probably written in somewhere. If I had to guess, they definitely get their lawyers and legal lumbo jumbo. And since this is all fresh, you don't really have a legitimate case because they've already been like, well, you bought this, you have rights, and nothing falls back on us. Sucks
Well, and
to
it
be
also
you.
depends on those terms of service. Like if you read through them and you pay the money for the product, that's on you.
yeah.
If there's, because anybody that writes up a contract, the person that writes up the contract would be insane not to write it up to protect themselves.
Agree.
Yeah, it's a lot like Blizzard's. When you are subbed with their account and you buy something from that store, it is still technically not yours.
Yeah, it's not.
It is
an
still
NFT,
Blizzard's.
yeah.
You are paying every month the right to use the stuff that you bought from their store, which is terrible that people really don't think about. If they decide to shut your account down, you don't get any of that money that you actually spent on that account back.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's just into the void.
So if you
Goodbye.
bought
You
every
wasted all
store
that money
item.
for nothing.
Well,
All
I mean,
of
it's the same
gone.
thing like with mobile games. So if you have, like, Game of War was a massive game back in the day. You had people that sold their individual accounts. Some people put hundreds of thousands of dollars into their account, which was stupid, but they would put hundreds of thousands of dollars worth into the account. And then they would end up selling their account for, let's say, $1,000 to somebody when they decided they wanted to give up the game. And the person would purchase said account. Well, it now belongs to whoever that individual is. You can't get that account back. But in the actual terms of service, it states the game owner. So in this case, Game of War actually owned that account. No one else owned it but them. So even if you were like, well, Bob was actually on my account at the time that this indiscretion happened, then it doesn't matter. Game of War they just went, that's no longer your account. That's what it is. This is the way bans work for everything, all these others. They're stating, yes, you purchased the game, but you purchased it under this license, stating the fact that you weren't going to break these rules, and you broke the rules. Therefore, you lose the game that you purchased. And in this case, it's the other way around in the fact that, well, I mean, you can still break the rules, but the thing is if this shuts down, you're out. Like, one person paid $900,000 for land in this game. A plot of land, $900,000.
That's not even real land. You're not actually buying London or whatever. Y'all are...
I mean, in real life, like in the real world, land has true value because there's a limited amount of it. On planet Earth, there is only so much land, period. That is where the value of land comes from. In a virtual world, you bought 900,000. Guess what? This motherfucker who owns the server is going to literally just copy paste your land next door and sell it to somebody else for half the price.
Maybe.
I mean, it's something he could do. I can't go outside and tear up a piece of grass and put it like in the sky and have it grow up another piece of land. That's not how it works.
Or they're like, okay, this isn't London. We didn't put Big Ben in this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's different. That's why we're only selling this for $500K, not $900K.
Exactly. It's different.
It's fake scarcity.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of how NFTs are working, right? The ideology that this is a very limited real thing that you can own. But it's not, though.
I'm going to laugh if like all these people spend all this money for this land and he never delivers the game.
I mean, it's Peter Molyneux. That is 100% possible, and I'm sure that that's part of the terms of services as well, which is this is you're making a pre-purchase on a game that has not been completed, so there's a chance that it never will come to fruition, but your purchase is not refundable
all he
or
has
something.
to do is keep saying that. Well, we're still working on it.
Yeah, keep it in development hell.
20 years down the road.
At
that's
what point
why
would you reach completion?
But I mean,
that's the point.
I think things like that is why it's so easy for NFTs and stuff like this to become grift and scam heavy, which it is. There's a lot of scamming going on in the NFT, realm and things like that. But
And
it's because it's
cryptocurrency
easy.
and things like that.
It's easy to do. I mean, it's just crazy to me. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That's why I said it's too early in this technological era to put thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars into this. You have to give it a while for the technology. The internet is just barely over 2 decades old. Just barely over 2 decades
and
old.
this is Peter Molyneux, who
has a bad track record as it is.
Fucked people over.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trust that dude at all.
But he's
Hell
got
no.
the gaming name, so therefore, because people know the name and don't necessarily know the whole history of him, what are they doing? They're putting the money into that because they're like, oh,
This
it's
is the guy that
Peter
made
Molyneux. It's got a
Fable.
big name behind it, so of course I'm putting my money into it. I'm sorry, if you put $900,000 into this shit, you're an idiot. Like, if you went, okay, I'm gonna pay $100, all right, you're taking a chance, but just $100. It's not like it's an extreme amount. 900,000. There's people that won't see that in their lifetime.
Yeah.
And you
That's
paid for it
serious.
for a virtual land of London?
Yeah. For why? Well, and it also makes you wonder, it's like, who is it that's actually purchasing that? Because Chicken linked an NFT thing to us, and one of the ways to artificially inflate your, and I would not recommend this, artificially inflate your item's value is for you to create a secondary account and essentially sell it to yourself for an outrageous price. And then you can be like, oh my God, you guys, my thing that I created just sold for $20 million. And somebody sees that and goes, oh, obviously it's worth value. Let me buy it off of that person for 22 so that I can sell it later for more. You've artificially inflated the value of that. And maybe that's what he's doing, is he bought it himself so that he could be like, look, it sold for whatever I said was ridiculous.
Which 100% I could see him doing that too,
yeah.
or having friends be like, "Hey man, can you do me a solid right here? We need to increase the value of this, so just go ahead and spend a few."
Well, and that's
coins.
how it becomes kind of a grift too, is because you're like, buy this thing from me for 900,000, which will artificially inflate it, and obviously somebody will buy it from you for more, so you're getting your money back plus some, and I'm getting the kickback from it for notoriety for my item. And so, I mean, like, that's how it becomes a grift as well. Is because somebody's going to use somebody else, and then everybody's profiting, and... Oh, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Redonkulous.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that is equally ridiculous is, last week we were like, Ubisoft's doing this Quartz thing with the NFTs and all of this. So there's a French trade union that represents Ubisoft Paris staff members, and that trade union's like, yeah, we think this is dumb. So Ubisoft Paris staff are essentially like, we think this is the stupidest thing ever. Why is our company doing this? Oh man, like, your employers are not even on board with this. Why do you think this is a good idea? And I wonder if it's like, I kind of wonder if somebody who made the call to make Quartz got grifted, like, because NFTs can also be pyramid schemey, and so I'm kind of wondering if they got sold on it by somebody that's already in the pyramid scheme.
I would not be surprised at all. Somebody came in, it's like, hey dude, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of this. Put this in your game. It's easy money. I promise you. Watch. Here's, sign on to this. You're going to make thousands of dollars immediately. Hell yeah, that's money in my pocket. Cool. Good job. Just keep buying.
Yeah. Like,
Cool. Yeah. It's like, and then they're trying to steal from, like, again, I will constantly say it. It's just too early, and there's too many snake oil salesmen out there trying to squeeze whatever kind of oil they can out of everybody. If you're going to get into it, be cautious and be smart about it. Understand what you're getting into, so that you don't get your money swindled.
This whole thing just keeps reminding me of an episode from South Park.
Okay.
It's an older one where like they get Cheech and Chong, and some lady brings them in to be like authentic Native Americans or something, and sell just a bunch of natural healing remedies and things like that.
That's bad.
To people for like an absurd amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the same idea of the whole snake oil salesman.
One of the things you'll see with these two, and I want to clarify something because I had to look it up because I was like, I don't understand how something digital is going to affect the environment, but I was able to figure this. I was able to look and see. Basically, because they're using a blockchain technology, there's got to be servers that back everything that you have. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of your blockchain stuff, your cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, they're actually using solar panels, wind energy, and things like that to power this that are using alternative fuels. A good group of them are doing that. But the problem is you've got something like this where Ubisoft's just starting doing it. They're not going, how can we do this environmentally sound? They're looking at it as, how can we make money? Mm-hmm. And so, but as we found out, the secondary market right now on the skin, I think it was up to $423,000 for that people were trying to sell these on the secondary market. The average price that people were getting, I want to say, was $21.
The average price that people are willing to spend, basically, is like, I'll counter your $43,000 with $21.
There you go.
Like,
yeah,
cool. That's a good value.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah, I don't know how much the original price of the skin was, but it sounds good to me.
I mean, $20-something for a microtransaction is still a bit expensive, but I guess it's
some of the early parts, like the early NFTs. One of them was given away to people who were over level 5, and the next one was given away to people who had over 600 hours of playtime.
Which is like nobody, because nobody's playing that game.
Which you didn't have to pay for it.
That's what it was.
Yes, you didn't have to pay for it.
Wildlands was a good game. Breakpoint was not.
No, you didn't have to pay for it, but you could sell it.
They just gave it away to free so that they could start the market.
Well, it's because it's like drugs. You know, the first taste is free, and then you're hooked and purchasing forever, right? Like, I guess that's the mentality. It's like, no.
And all of these people that have those expecting to become millionaires are just sitting there, like, going through change, going, why aren't I rich yet? What did I do wrong?
That's one of the things you have to realize too, especially when there's a release of free stuff, is you're gonna have to give it a while for that to be a special item. So it's basically like investing in the stock market and hoping that your investment does well, because there's a chance that investment doesn't. There's a chance that Ubisoft's like, oh no, all of this bad stuff was piling up on us at once, and then for like, this would never happen, but like within the next 3 or 4 years, they just crumble as a studio and then it's gone forever. But there's a chance. You don't know. You're having to speculate when you purchase these things, so...
I look at the difference between going to a nickel machine at a casino versus going to the $100 machine at a casino. So you walk in, or there's even penny machines at casinos. You go in to play the game, to enjoy it. If you're doing pennies or nickels. You're not doing it because you know you're going to make thousands of dollars off of it. If you're going $100 when you're doing it in order to be able to make a lot of money real quick. That's what your thought process is. The problem is you got to pay a lot of money to make a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to make a lot of money. There's not a guarantee that you will.
Trying to make a lot of money. There's no guarantee.
No.
But that's the same way that the stock market works. You got those people that play short. You got those people that play long. Mm-hmm. And it's, and usually the people that play long over the long run end up with, it's a sizable amount, but it's not a large amount of money that you're going to get over that amount of time. It's one of those things where I invested $100. I ended up after 10 years with $500. I invested enough to make myself some money back. Yeah. That's the thought process. What 401ks do, everything else, right? We have no idea what's going to happen with this. And I don't want to be the old man in the room that's sitting there going, this isn't the way we did things when I was young. But it's one of those where I understand what's happening, and it's keep it out of our fucking games, man. It makes no sense to have it a video game.
And you're right. People don't want it because Stalker 2 was announced this week, and they were going to include NFTs, and their fan base was like, we really don't want that. And after such a huge backlash, they were like, all right, you don't want it. We're going to take it out. It's going to be gone. Like, it didn't even take them a week. I think it took them like 24, 48 hours, something like that, before they updated it. It was wild, backlash.
My favorite part of that is you had big streamers that were big fans of the Stalker series that posted out on Twitter and was like, look, I love you guys. I've loved this series. I play this series all the time and I enjoy the hell out of it. Why are you trying to do this? This makes no sense to do it. And within 4 minutes after those posts went out, they came back with an announcement of, we're not going to do this because you all have told us you don't want this.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's like,
oh man.
I will say one thing for the future that you can use NFTs and whatnot for is because part of block stores and actual discs and whatnot is that you can trade in and they've got actual value. Is eventually if you buy a game like on Steam and it's got a blockchain to it, you can sell that game to someone else because it's a legitimate licensed game, and then when you transfer it to somebody, you lose the license, it goes to somebody else instead of like there will actually be trade-ins for games and things like that.
See, that would actually have made, if Ubisoft had come up with that system instead of what they're trying to do, it would have made a whole lot more sense. We know you bought said game.
Exactly.
Right. For this much. We're going to have a marketplace for you to be able to, because now you can put it on your own marketplace, so you can have a little bit of a markup, so you can sell it back, the licensing back to us, and somebody else can purchase at a discounted amount. Literally cost you $0 because you created the game already. That was your money that you spent. You put it on a digital store of some sort, right? And put the licensing out there, a digital version of the game. Somebody's just sending you a license code. It's not even costing you anything on that.
Right.
And all you're doing is resending the same version of the game out to somebody. Like,
Exactly. Like
that would actually make a lot more sense.
There is a world that this could be used for. It's just that everybody's looking for the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of money. And it's like, no, just like use it for something else than just trying to sell these things. It has a purpose, and I think someday it'll make buying consoles a whole lot easier and a lot better for everybody, because when you buy one, it's literally chained to you. It's your console, and if you don't want it anymore, you can sell it to somebody else and the license online and things like that. Digital games will have a better value because you played it, you're done with it, you put it on the marketplace, you let somebody else buy the game for a discount. Boom! Somebody doesn't want to pay full price for it. They go to the market and they go to buy pre-owned games, which
And
we're kind of circling back.
You literally are just throttle how much can be sold at that amount, so you still have the full amount that's there. You let them know that it does include the DLC or anything like that. That would be a separate purchase type deal, whatever. And you're making more money off of it over and over and over again than you would have actually. And you set it up to where they can't get real life money from it either.
They get store credit.
It's in-store credit.
Wow.
Like,
so, that makes sense.
There are things that we could do that is progressive in the video game world for this. Costumes and helmets and shit like that is not it, people.
Well,
no.
We mentioned the Ubisoft thing. I failed to mention it when we were talking about it. That Quartz platform, when you sell your NFT, like you got the gun from Ghost Recon, whatever, Ubisoft makes cut off that. So you're not getting the full profit off of it. They get some of what you are selling it for because it's technically their property, but it's your property, but it's their property, really. So... Oh,
so the $21 they would get...
Yeah.
I wouldn't even get my full $21?
No, you'd get like $19. They're taking $2 as the service fee and percentage cut, which is weird. Because think about how little sense that makes. We're selling you this item, you're gaining digital ownership of it, but we're still retaining some digital ownership of it because we're going to take a percentage out of every sale of it.
Mm-hmm.
How much sense does that make? Because then you don't actually own it. Ubisoft still owns the rights to it, so they can continue to profit off of it.
This sounds more like what they were arguing about several years ago when we were working at GameStop and companies started complaining the fact that, well, they don't get a cut of any of the games or anything that are sold to them. And
yeah. I mean, everybody wants to make money, and businesses are there to make money, and I get that. But putting the NFT tag on something that's a microtransaction isn't transparent, isn't honest, because you don't own it. They still do. That's how they can continue to make money off of it. They still hold rights to it, I guess. So, That's so weird. So weird.
Mm-hmm. Defeats the purpose of being an NFT at that point.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it really does. I mean, because the idea is that you own it, but you don't, because Ubisoft's still profiting, so it's not really yours. I mean, imagine if you did sell something for some outrageous amount, how much cut, like, because there isn't anything in their FAQ that says what the percentage is, but it just says they get a percentage of the sales. So I kind of wonder what that percentage is.
If I had to guess, it's probably like 15 to 20%.
You think so? You think it's that much? I was thinking like 10.
Oh, yes, for sure. No. They can't get away with it, especially because people aren't going to read it.
Yeah, nobody's reading the terms of service.
They're just going to like sell it and be like, damn, what the hell took that big of a cut out of there? Oh, well, and then they're going to forget about it. Because they still made money.
I guess so. Since we're talking about Ubisoft and all, though, they announced a Splinter Cell remake. I wonder if that's going to have NFTs in it.
God, I hope not.
I mean, if that's the thing they want to do, I can't see why it wouldn't.
No, do not damage my Splinter Cell game.
No. And I am so excited. It's been 8 years since we had a
skins in
damn
it,
game.
but
The
you
last
can
one was
run around
good,
as
and it's like,
different
it's been
characters.
8 years.
What, Baka?
They're going to put skins in it so you can run around as different characters.
No.
I mean,
Did you hear? No.
with a 19-year
said
catalog,
no.
yeah, they probably will. You could probably buy retro skins.
And it looks like it's going to be a straight remake.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the way
it's
that they're doing it.
Yeah, it's the first one remake, rebuilt entirely, which is going to be cool. To have it entirely redesigned modernly, which I think is probably going to be a reboot to the franchise to kind of, start over.
I would love them to do it. I would love them to do it. And then when they get to Chaos Theory, they've got to have that co-op part. It is still the best co-op I've ever played, ever. In the fact that it was like, we're sitting there talking to each other through the actual chat. We've got to whisper because the guards can hear us. Like, it is so good.
Oh, God. And I'm 100% with him. It is the best co-op game I have ever played in my life. The amount of coordination...
And it was like 3 missions, but we played them over and over again.
Yeah, like trying to make sure that you did everything so perfectly, and like the banter between the two characters. Oh, my God. Like, Chaos Theory.
Mm-hmm.
That is how you make co-op. Right there.
I am actually surprised nobody else put that in a game. Like to that degree. I mean,
That's all I've got to say to that. Is it's the same thing with the Nemesis system. Is why don't people use that?
Well, it's the new Wonder Woman game will have Nemesis system.
Really? I've bought it already. Then I don't even know what the game is called. What's the game called?
I mean, it's just gonna be Wonder. They just teased it. We talked about it last week. I brushed over it last week.
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear Nemesis in there.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, it's gonna have. It's the same people that did the Mordor games.
I'm 100%
If it's
fucking
the same
sold.
people,
I'm
like, do
already
you
bought it.
know that it has the Nemesis system in it, or
Yeah,
are you
it was in another.
assuming-
It was in an article.
Okay.
I'm fucking
Yep.
sold.
Okay.
Just put it on your wish list until you see more about the game, Chicken.
Fuck that. If it has a Nemesis system in there, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's cold ass water, I'm diving in.
It's funny.
Like
I am excited.
Go ahead. I'm just.
I am
reading it.
excited. I am excited about the Splinter Cell though, because I think I am interested to see if they go ahead and redo the acting in it, or if they just keep it the way it was. Because first of all, sound wise, we've changed a lot in our recording process since 20 something years ago. But I'm really excited to see what they do with this. And the controls were kind of wonky for the first one. Especially on PC, because on PC I think you had to use mouse and keyboard. I don't think there's without using a third party app of some sort, I don't think there's a way to use a controller on the first one. So very excited about that. Interested to see what Sam Fisher looks like, and are they going to make him young Sam Fisher? Because Sam Fisher was kind of like old, and then they made him young, and they made him real old. Like, it was really weird on how they did his aging. Interested to see that as well. So we've been dealing with, well, I've been playing some Back for Blood, and y'all did the demo and stuff that was on there, that was out as well. It is official that Tencent now has completely purchased the Back for Blood developer, Turtle Rock Studios.
I thought they bought
Which
the
I'm not
parent
happy
company, Slamfire.
Do I know?
Yeah, they bought the parent company of Turtle Rock, Slamfire.
Slamfire.
Yeah.
Yes. So
But-
by extension, they own Turtle Rock now, which
Yeah.
you can only see that game is going to go downhill, because I guarantee if Back for Blood does not start making a good profit, they will force them to start adding things in there to make a better profit, and if it does not, they will shut them down. They take them out. They'll do the old EA thing where they take them out back and put them down.
The good thing is they are stating that they're trying to let them work independently right now. We'll see how that works. With the Phil Robb and Chris Ashton still remaining in charge there in California, so we'll just have to kind of see how that works. To be honest with you, I would look at it as long as the game is profitable, which it currently is, then you continue to do, let them work the way that they're working, kind of THQ it. I don't know if Tencent's gonna mindset has changed where they're doing it. Maybe they look at, because they do a good job of looking at the industry, whether or not it's just, we know them for destroying companies when it comes to microtransactions and shit like that, but they do a good job of seeing what is happening in the industry to create those decisions too. So if they try to THQ it and go through and allow them to work independently and they just reap the benefit from it, we'll just kind of have to see.
I just have a feeling they're going to end up doing like, oh, you want cards to build a deck? You give us $5 for a pack.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought that's the way that game was going to end up going anyway, to be honest. The way that the pack system works, but we'll see. Because I think it's DLC, right? Like, here's $10 for your DLC, which is just new packs of cards.
Right.
Here's 10 new cards, $1 per card.
Selling cars, man. It's going down a bad road right there.
Yeah, they're NFT cards. It's okay.
Oh my god.
Ooh, that's
Of
a
course
really
it is.
bad road. Like, the road ended and it went off a cliff. Like, it turned into a dirt road and then it just went straight off.
You got that one guy that's got invincibility that he paid $3,000 for.
Yeah.
Because it's an NFT.
They only released 5 versions or 5 of them for
Exactly.
people to buy.
Exactly. So last week we talked about Bungie having issues that they announced in September, and then the announcement from their CEO came out last week. Their head of HR has actually stepped down this week as well, and she made sure that she stated, "I'm proud of the work that did this company. I believe made recommendations that were in the best interest of our people, and in service of the company we wish to become. I also believe we've made some mistakes, and that to become the better version of ourselves, the company I know we can be, we have to acknowledge and confront them in good faith and grow together." She also talks about in her email, even people that she considered friends, that she had to turn over and fire because of stuff that they had done. So, I feel like that's going the right direction. And I don't know why, like when shit happens to this, like to Bungie, which I love Bungie, but it's also one of those where I feel like it's being handled better, and maybe because it's a smaller company and not something like Activision, Blizzard, and we expect the worst of them type deal. Maybe I'm just jaded with them. But I don't know. I feel like it's
No, I mean, it is being handled better than the Activision Blizzard stuff. Because, I mean, they're still trying to just, like, wait until, like, oh, well, people will eventually forget about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess to a degree, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Is that all the news? That was all news.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's about as much bad as we need for the day, right?
Yeah, that's good. It's the
We've
end of
reached
the
our
year.
quota
I'm
of doom
totally.
and gloom.
We've spent half this fucking year talking about this shit. It was like from July to December, almost every single week, there was somebody in a company doing something fucking stupid. Every week. Every week. And we have talked about it every single week, and that's the most important part, is constantly putting that spotlight on there. So, as the last show of the year, again, putting the spotlight on it. Don't be shitty, regardless of what company you're in. And if you're an enabler, I hope you get fired. And if you're one of them, I hope
You get
worse
fired.
than getting fired.
Oh,
Hope you lose your entire job career thing. Hopefully you don't even get a job back in the
career
video
thing.
game industry. Hopefully you lose everything.
Oh my god.
Well, usually at the end of every year, we discuss our top 5 games for the year, which is not always the top 5 games we played that came out this year, because some of us don't play
I don't
a lot
even think
of
I played
current
5 games this year. I'll be honest.
I played
You
at
did.
least 5 games. The issue is none of them were new.
Oh well.
That's
I
fine.
played 2
That's why we
games
do
from
it.
20 years ago, so
They just had to be new to us, right? That's always our rule, right?
It's whatever you were playing this year. I mean, because we've had years in the past where some of us have played stuff that are mostly retro
I
titles
used
and
to
things
make
like
the
that.
rule for myself. It had to be 5 new games that I've played this year, but I really do not think I've played 5 new games
I don't have 5
this
new
year.
games. There's literally
I didn't even write a
one
list
new
down.
game on my list, and it's not really because it was a remaster.
Oh, people consider that one new though, because of the remaster.
I mean, that's
30-year-old game, still new.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fan of that mentality, but it is one of those where, hey, others do it, why not?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
I just didn't play new stuff this year. Well, that's not true. Yes and no, because another game like my list, and I didn't put them in order, was Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Cyberpunk 2077, because I finished it for the first time this year. Because I mean, it came out December last year, so technically it was still current. 2 Point Hospital, Phasmophobia, and Ark, and it's because I've spent so much time in those last 3 over the course of this year that, I mean, they had to be on the list. Realistically,
Surprised WoW isn't on that list.
WoW is, I guess, an honorable mention, and I think one of the things about WoW, Chicken, you touched on it last night when we were talking about some stuff, is like I don't play WoW anymore for the, oh wow, I can't wait to play this game, it's so fun. I play it because it's become a job and I have to. That's why I don't have a million alts. And I don't spend every, free second I have playing it, is because I have to play it to such a level when I'm required to be there that it's not fun for me to play in my free time anymore. So I didn't put it on the list because it's not really a fun game that I'm playing. It's a game that I go to play because I have to, and I socialize with my friends while I do it.
I do not look at WoW as having to play. I choose to live my life by not having to do anything. That is my mentality. I don't have to do shit. I have to
WoW
eat,
is more
I
fun
have to
when-
breathe, I have to drink water, and I have to go to the bathroom. Those are the 4 things that you have to do.
And 5th, you have to take care of your child.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah,
That's
the
gonna be
5th.
on the
I had
list.
5 now. He has to
Now
eat,
you have a
breathe,
5.
drink water, and go to the bathroom. He can't wipe his own butt yet, but we'll get to that point later on in life.
WoW is a lot more entertaining when we are doing dungeons or questing and stuff with Cat, but
Yes.
when-
It has
when it's like-
revitalized doing things like that.
I
again.
like the socialization when we're in raid on Wednesday, Thursday, but I think it's because everything as far as my free time goes has become so scheduled and metered out, and I have to give up 2 days a week to it for my entire evening, that I just like I don't have the bandwidth to just go and do it on my own as much anymore. It's just not as fun. Now you set me down in like some 2 Point Hospital and I will spend all day, because that is fun, except for the frustration with the stupid hot dogs.
So, all right. So that was your list: Phasmo, Ark, Cyberpunk, Mass Effect,
And 2 Point.
And 2 Point.
Yes. I mean, Phasmo, we just have so much
In
fun
no
with, and the
specific
updates
order.
this year have been so great. So great. And to be
the
fair,
updates for like the last 4 months have been unfucking believable.
right?
It, like the end of August, that first
They
huge
kicked it
update,
into high
and then
gear.
yeah, like
Well, he hired people. It was just one dude, and then he hired some people, so he has a team now, and they can get stuff out a little faster, and it's a little more, they upped
like,
the ante on it,
Even
But you redesign the assets, so they're not.
Yeah,
just
like I was about to say,
commonplace,
even
right?
the small assets, like the small little thing that people don't think about is that every object in the game now makes a noise specific to it. Is like, wow, it feels like a whole entire different world now. When you drop a fork, it sounds like a fork hit the floor instead of just like donk, like the most terrible donk, or throwing a spray can that goes donk. Everything made a donk sound. It was very rough.
That's been a lot of fun. And to be fair, like I said, Cyberpunk and Mass Effect, they're both games that I had not, like, Cyberpunk I finished up this year, and then Mass Effect I had never finished the game when I played before, so this was my first time actually experiencing the ending. So it's still technically new to me.
I agree with that.
So I definitely did.
I've got all of mine were new for this year. I debated whether to put Black Flag on this list or not because I loved it so fucking much, but I didn't. So it does get an honorable mention because, I finally finished that game after however many years, and I love the hell out of it. It was great.
Yeah.
But I didn't finish this game, but I'm 3/4 the way through it, which is why it's at number 5. I think it would be much higher if I'd actually finished the game, which is Deathloop. I absolutely love the gameplay on it. I thought the voice acting was fantastic. The design of the game overall is just really, really well done. My number 4 is Psychonauts 2. I absolutely loved Psychonauts 2. It was a great way to come back after all these years of not having Psychonauts in the actual, game world. You go from the original Xbox to the newest PCs and everything else that's out there. Story wise, did a great job as well. Then you have Halo 3. Halo is my third. Halo Infinite.
They're new. Halo 3.
I got Halo 3. Yes. Nobody expected that. No, Halo Infinite's my third. I loved what they did with it. I thought that the beginning of it started slow, like when you first get to the open world. I think what they did really well in the latter part of the world is you could go through and just go through the open world and do all the side missions if you wanted to, or you could do some of those side missions on the way to point A to point B. Number 2, Kana is the Bridge of Spirits. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Brilliant story, beautiful game. I loved it. And my number 1 was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I absolutely thought that it was the best game of the year for all the games that I not only I'd played, but a lot of the ones that I'd seen up for Game of the Year. I thought it was just knocked out of the park for sure.
Right.
That's what I got.
That's a good list. Check in Baka. Yo, got some stuff on a list, I hope.
Do your business.
I reminded everybody.
My mind is pretty much just like all old shit because I just went back and replayed or they did games that did updates and things like that because I didn't really get anything new this year. Maybe next year I will. The Castlevania Lament of Innocence is what I put down for 5. Just because I'm a Castlevania nerd and
What? No
like
way.
those games.
Nobody would ever guess that.
No, not in a million years. Animal Crossing, it's just, I don't play it all the time, but every once in a while, especially if I have like a doctor's appointment or something like that, it's just something where I can sit there and mess around and play with it, and then then I can just shut it off and then continue about doing whatever.
Now that you're a couple months into the DLC, what do you think of that?
I did not buy the DLC.
Okay.
That's one of the ones on my list, along with Metroid that I plan on getting here soon. So
awesome.
Gang Beasts because that is just stupid fun.
We did play that quite a bit this year, actually. You're right.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
It is fun.
Especially with Snitty.
Mm-hmm. Man, the one you gotta watch out for, though, is Kat. She knows how to hit that headbutt button better than anybody else.
She's not good at the picking up and throwing out, but when you try to get her out, it is a nightmare to do it because she will like just headbutt you. And
you grab
out.
her and she just starts spamming that headbutt button.
Panic mode.
Yeah, and then you just fall off.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly
my favorite is to knock out Snitty and then pick him up and let the tentacles grab a hold of him.
In the aquarium level?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He gets so
right.
pissed.
Yeah. You better get a video of that shit because all I ever see is him putting everybody else in the pit. I think one time you took him with you as you were going down.
Yeah, he took me with him at one point, and the game before that, I knocked his ass out and put him and got him on the tentacles, and then there was another game before that he started chasing me, and one of the tentacles got him and dragged him in.
That game is fun.
Red Dead was number 2, just because I played the hell out of that this year.
Yeah. You've spent a minute playing that game.
About 5 minutes playing that game.
About 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I've got to go look at his Steam and see what his time played in that game is, because it's
got to be pretty
year.
high at this point.
I'm going to find out. A lot. It's a lot. Where's my friends list? Oh, he's not online.
221.6 hours.
It's not too bad.
See, I knew it would be a lot.
It's a little bit.
He's only been playing for a minute.
So about 10 minutes. There we go.
about 10 minutes. Yes, accurate. Feels accurate, man.
I mean, I've unlocked a lot of the stuff in there without ever actually spending money for the gold like they want you to as well. So
That's true. You have made a lot of money without actually spending money.
Mm-hmm. That just takes a little bit of work, and like once you get certain things unlocked, then it becomes so much easier to just start earning money in gold.
True.
But then at the top it would be Phasmo, because especially like like Chicken said, the last 4 months the updates have just been ridiculous.
I want to play like right now. I know I've got other stuff to do after the show and all.
Scary child in the upper level in the
That's my favorite.
Start room.
That's my favorite. I like that they did that.
I am disappointed that they did not give him a Santa hat though.
Well, I mean, you can't really see him. He's just a dark shadow up there in the rafters. But I like that he follows you around. They could have done a silhouette of it. Well, that's true. I do like that they left that stuff, though, from the Halloween update, so that we could still be entertained in the, start area.
I have started learning how to get the rings for the ring toss.
I suck at that.
Stand on their side.
Oh, I can't even
just throw them up. I just throw them up and they'll land and they'll stay on their side most of the time.
Oh, nice.
It's just fun. Or occasionally, like when you do that and then you have to leave the room and come back in to fix up the mic issue or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would load back in and they'd be floating in the air.
That's spooky.
Yeah.
That's extra spook. What about you, Chicken?
In no particular order.
Yeah, I didn't put mine in order either.
Yeah. I'm not going to put Star Ocean on there. I haven't finished it, so I'll probably put it on there next year. I'm going to finish it right after the new year, so I got the first one for next year. But Phasmo's on there, of course. We put a bunch of time into this year, and the updates have been really good. The game is absolutely solid. I can't wait for their full release, which I have a feeling will probably be sometime next year in October.
Is it still early access?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize. I forget after we purchase
we're on
it that things are still in...
the 0.54 beta access, so he's still working on it. There's a lot of stuff he still wants to do with it, but I put a lot of time into that. Ark, of course, is on there because the extraordinary amount of time I have put onto that game over the year has been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mostly enjoyable, mildly irritating, but mostly enjoyable.
Especially when your pet destroys the tree.
Yeah. There has to be a Christmas update. I wonder what's in that. I didn't even look.
Anyway. Prey.
Look of disdain.
Prey, I actually finished Prey. I tried to play it before, but I actually finished it this year. Streaming helps me finish games. Like, it makes it so much more desirable to actually play games all the way through, because it gives me time to, like, sit down, focus on playing the game, and put my effort where I'm not being, like, dragged away by other things or other responsibilities. It's like a set, nice little block where I can actually focus on a game. That game was incredibly fun. I enjoyed it. The twist at the end was nice. Somewhat foreseeable for some of the options there towards the end, but the twist at the end was interesting. So I enjoyed that one. Halo Infinite was fun. The story was good for what they were trying to do. I'm not saying by no means it was bad. The open world aspect could be done a lot better, and I can't wait to see how they're going to improve that. But solid game for sure. It could have just used the sprinkles and frosting a little bit. I mean, good cake, tastes good, but it was pretty
more
Well,
bland.
and I'm
Sprinkles.
interested to see what they're going to end up adding to it, because they do have this open world that's available. And if they're able to take some of the suggestions that people have come up with, I think it's an excellent way to go.
Absolutely. Like, the future for that game, we'll see if it actually lasts 10 years, but I guarantee the next couple of years we'll see some good improvements, no doubt. The Ghost of Tsushima DLC.
I'll allow it.
Iki Island. The Iki Island DLC. I'm putting it on there regardless. That's why there are 6, because this one, if it doesn't count, that's fine. This was definitely my second most fun experience that I've had streaming. The DLC was absolutely incredible. It was short, but it was so sweet. It was like that little side dessert where, after you got that main course of that $800 steak, and you're just like, oh my god, you can't get any better than this. And then they come out with this dessert, and you're like,
I need
is this
it.
free? Yeah, that's free. It's pretty cheap.
Where did you eat for an $800
That's
steak?
what I'm asking.
The halls of Valhalla is where the deliciousness of this game is at. This is my opinion, though. The DLC was just absolutely incredible. Again, another so well told story. Like, even if it was like short-ish, like the feeling you get through the entire game and the characters that they made, every part of it was just as good as the main story. And so, highly recommend. If you like Ghost of Tsushima, the DLC is just that much better. And for my top game that I've played this year was Resident Evil Village. I played that one earlier. That game, I enjoyed the shit out of it. It felt like it was a little bit of 4, 5, and 6, and 7 all kind of mushed into 8, where they took aspects of like what made Resident Evil games good and just kind of put it all into one, and it worked really well. Each of the sections of the game felt different. They added some main boss chase scenes where you've got to try to run in the castle. They added some really, really unsettling horror aspects.
Yeah.
They added some puzzle jumping and swamp areas and things like that, and some more action-oriented parts, and then some like really, really badass Chris scenes, which and then some nice twists there at the end, and it all followed up with an incredible ending to the story. A incredible ending. That's just where I say it. Play it, watch it, you will understand what I mean. Everybody else agreed too. Like, the game is incredible for a Resident Evil game. That one absolutely took the cake for this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's because I played Ghost of Tsushima last year, right, in 2020. I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember. I just remember that you loved it.
Yeah,
And it took you a while to get through it.
Yeah,
I thought it
don't
was
think-
this year, but
Was it this year?
I think it was the beginning. Then you finished it.
Yeah, I might have finished it this year because it came out July of last year. If I finished it this year, that game is number one, period, followed by Resident Evil. Because I think I may have played it into the beginning of this year. I don't know. Because it's hard to remember. Nugget was born in August of last year, so I did not stream very much.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
That was the first thing you came back and streamed, wasn't it? After he was born?
I think so.
Maybe.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that was the first thing that I streamed. But
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure when I would have streamed it because he was with me the whole winter. So.
Don't know.
Oh, I did play it this year. Sorry, I'm putting a timeline in my head because he started daycare in March, and I started streaming when he was at daycare, and that's when I played it. And then because Resident Evil Village came out May 1st, I played Ghost of Tsushima through those few months. Then I was going to do the Resident Evil streams, and I only got through one of them because I couldn't, because work started picking up and I couldn't stream as much. Then I streamed Resident Evil Village. So Ghost of Tsushima is number one. No doubt. You've heard me brag about it enough. I don't need to go over it again. That one is the number one game, period. This year has been ridiculously long. I'm sure everybody else can agree. It's
Yes.
gone by so ridiculously
The last
slowly
couple of
and
years.
quickly.
Yeah, 2020 and 2021 have kind of ran together. So
Yeah. Ran together slowly. It's like, and then we're at the other end of the track going, holy shit, how did we get here so quickly?
Right?
It felt like we just left.
Ah.
Oh, man, it's been a wild couple of years. But yes, Ghost of Tsushima, hands down. Best game I've played in a while. And then followed by Resident Evil Village. But that's my list.
Is
I
there
cannot believe
anything that we're looking forward to for sure for next year?
the Wonder Woman game.
Now that you know it's got the Nemesis.
I don't think that's
system.
next year. I think it's 2023.
You're like,
I
take
don't
my
care.
money.
That's the one I am looking forward to now. First of all, like reading this little write-up that Grif sent me, it's like I'm hyped. I'm ready to see what they can do with the Nemesis system. Especially because she's got the lasso, and that's probably how she's going to control the people and force information out of them. Like, actually, it could actually work with the Nemesis system.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in. Like, I'm full in. Cold water, warm water, I don't care. I'm jumping in.
So I guess you're welcome.
Hell yeah.
That was on there.
I did not know that was even announced. I'm down.
Mine's pretty easy. There's only one that I'm like super looking forward to, and y'all already know what it is. Saints Row.
Tell our viewers.
Saints Row. Saints Row. I need it. I just want to
Okay.
do more crazy stuff in a new town. Let me do it. Fly a jet. And fly a jet between the buildings again.
You're not looking forward to Dragon Age?
Or Dying Light too.
Ooh, Dying Light 2.
Dying Light, I'm still on the fence about. Like, I want to be excited about it, but I'm gonna need to see it first.
Oh,
So-
Diablo 2 Resurrected. I completely forgot about that one this year, too.
See,
That
now
game
you're
is
like, I
actually
haven't even
announced.
played 5 games this year. Now you're like, well, I've got 10 games on this list so far. What
When,
else
when
have I
you
not
have
remembered?
when you have a child, the days kind of just lose,
Dude,
and you
tell
forget
me
a lot
about
of shit. Oh, my God.
I spent like 3 months playing Mass Effect. That's one of the reasons. I guess that's not really fair. That's 3 games that I played as one game, but it was one very long game.
Padding your... So you technically have 8 games on your list? Okay, same as mine.
Oh, that's funny. I'm trying to look and see. I don't think there's a whole lot. Forspoken in May.
I want to see
I mean-
more about that. I need to
Elden
see it.
Ring for next year.
You know, that's not my thing.
I
Y'all
was
have
just
fun
going to
with
play it
that.
for Oak. I was just gonna play
I
it for
look
Oak.
forward to Elden Ring when he plays it.
Okay, there you go.
Forward to Elden Ring. But I think the only other thing, Horizon Forbidden West comes out in February near my birthday. I'm excited about that one too. But that's the only one I can think. The only ones I can think of off the top of my head. I'm not really the whole Starfield thing. Nothing
that
about that
next
has gotten me
year?
hyped.
I figured
That
that
is
would be...
November. That is November.
I'm gonna say it's not. That's my guess. It's not.
I don't know if it is or not, because here's the thing. What Microsoft does really well is when they say they're going to start a game, if the game's going to come out, with the exception of the recent Halo, then it's come out when they said it has. And I'm wondering if before they announced it at, what was it, E3, when they showed the short one or whatever, right after they've gotten
But that was
Bethesda.
Bethesda announced it before they were acquired, though.
Right, but they never gave a date. The date was given during the Microsoft announcement.
I still think maybe. I mean, okay, I am taking into account Bethesda's launch history and the fact that Microsoft probably does not want to continue that trend.
Yes.
I think if that's the case, November's probably not happening. Like if Microsoft's got people that are going to look at it before it launches and go, yeah, no, it's probably going to be a no. But if they're going to let Bethesda handle it on their own, it's going to be another Bethesda launch.
But keep in mind, I'm also taking that in consideration before Microsoft would announce an actual date. They had already looked at the condition of the game to whether it could be released by next year.
I will wait and see. I would not put money on November.
Which
you
game?
couldn't make me.
Starfield.
Definitely not.
Yeah, because I mean we haven't seen anything aside from a teaser trailer.
Not. Yeah, absolutely not. The only way that I will see Microsoft allowing that game to release in the state is if they are okay with the foundation it's in, and they'll put it on Game Pass, and they'll let Bethesda improve it as over time. Like, it is not going to come out like Fallout 4 or any of the other Fallouts where it's a fully
Fallout
done
76
cake.
Is what I'm thinking about.
Like, it will come out again.
It's a different style game, but yeah.
Yeah, it will come out as another plain cake with no frosting and decorations. It will just come out solidly foundation worthy, and then they'll just improve on it as they go on. Because again, Game Pass pays for long-term development. You get hype out, you build a community, you keep adding onto the games, your community grows, you keep growing, more Game Pass numbers. Like, that's how they want to do it. They want to create a longevity to games instead of it being like, here's your full game, you beat it in the month, you cancel your sub.
Here's your full game. You'll be playing it for the next 27 years. Skyrim.
Yeah, like it's different. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's just that's when they've released it. That's when they've set the date. It's actually in that trailer from when they did Microsoft. But I'm looking at it from that standpoint that Microsoft would not let them release that trailer with a date on it unless they felt that was a strong possibility.
We will find out in November.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Anything else? Nope.
I guess not. Have a good holiday, everybody. Whatever it is that you celebrate.
And a happy new year.
Yeah.
Woo.
We'll be back in 2022. I don't even know what date. I just know next year.
Next year. That's all we know. That's all we need to know. Well, we do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week at Infinite Respawn, especially everybody that hung out with this year and last year, because it's been rough years in both cases. And last year we took the hiatus for a little bit because the new Nugget was born. So, we do appreciate everybody that got to hang out with us. I am looking forward to this coming year. Not necessarily the games that are coming out, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more news now that production's starting to pick up a little bit. With some of these games, and hopefully we'll have a whole lot more news for games that we can look forward to in 2023, 2024. And then maybe we'll be surprised by some games in 2022 as well that maybe's not on anybody's radar and will come out, kind of like Phasmo was when it first came out. And it was on nobody's radar, and now, a lot of people are enjoying the game. So hopefully we'll do that. But as always, you can check us out on Twitter at Infinite Words are hard.
That's tough for you.
At Infinite Res PC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slineham.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure you go to Grif's YouTube channel. Grif, are you posting anything during the holidays
too? Yeah, they'll still be. I forgot to post for a whole week, so yeah, I've got some stuff that's still going out. So no big deal. Yeah. Okay. So even though we won't have stuff, new stuff will be coming out.
Okay, so make sure you go on there, hit her little bell, so that way you know when all the stuff goes live for Dragon Age Origins. Chicken, what's your schedule look like?
This week is nothing. Like I can't stream. Nugget's home all week, so he's not gonna allow me to have hours to set aside to stream. But the following week, the New Year's week, right after Christmas, he's gonna be going back to daycare. So Monday, that Monday the 27th will be Kiwi with Grif, and then we'll have Star Ocean for the rest of the week, and then probably in the next couple of weeks we'll probably be done with Star Ocean and play the Gunk.
Gunk, yes.
Yay!
Hey, we're going old to new, and then maybe something old again, and then Pokemon Arceus will be out, and that will be new again. I'm really enjoying this style of going back and forth to old games.
I'm actually enjoying it too, because I can, if it's a game that's new that I don't mind being spoiled on, because maybe it's something not my style of play or whatever, I can watch you do that. But then I like going back to the old ones. Either I know them or I don't. Or I knew of them, but not my style again type deal. Yeah. And I get to watch them either way, so it's kind of fun to watch. And you can catch him out on twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. Also, make sure that you go to twitch.tv/IntoBeOaktree. I will be streaming parts of the week. Just make sure you're following my Twitter or in my Discord, and you'll know exactly when that is. Griffin Respawn. I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
See ya.
Baka.
Bye.
Bye.